I'm Professor Mojeed Alabi. I represent the North, the South, Egbedore, and Ejigbo Federal Constituency. I'm from the state of Osun. Mr. Speaker, I refer to Section 4, 5, and 6 of the Constitution, upon which our principle of separation of powers under the Constitution is anchored.
But you said it's a matter of privilege.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, my privilege has been breached because as a legislator, I have a duty to ensure that we debate only those things that are within the purview of our responsibility as legislature. The matter is not urgent and not sufficient enough for this House to debate. Which will lead to this
sorry.
To do its own work.
Honorable Mojeed.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Mojeed.
I hope I'm protected.
Honorable Mojeed, I cannot protect you.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I cannot. I'm afraid I cannot protect you. The rule is very clear.
Sit down, my friend.
We have already taken a decision on this matter. That it is urgent and that our rules will be suspended so that we take the debate. Now, if you disagree with this, you have to come by way of a motion, substantive motion, for rescission of that decision. And you cannot raise matter of privilege concerning that. So please, kindly take your seat. If you object to it, you can say so in the course of the debate.
Yes.
Those who want to speak for the motion will do that. Those who want to speak against the motion will do that, and they will take a decision. Honorable Chinda, please, move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my dear colleagues. Urgent need to investigate the invasion and arrest of judicial officers for alleged corruption and similar incidences by the State Security Service. The House is aware of numerous media reports of the invasion of the residences and the arrest of some judges.
Order. Honorable Dixon Taki, please take your seat. Take your seat, honorable members. Let us listen to the honorable colleague in silence.
The House is aware of numerous media reports of the invasion of the residences and arrest of some judges of the Federal High Courts and justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in the wee hours of Friday, October 8, 2016, at Abuja, Gombe, Enugu, Sokoto, Kano, and Port Harcourt. The House is further aware of the press release by the spokesperson of the SSS confirming this worrisome incident and the reasons stated therein. The House is cognizant of the principle of separation of powers and the constitutionally guaranteed independence of the three arms of government. The House is apprised of the provisions of Section 153(1) sub 1 and Part 1 of the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution as amended, establishing the National Judicial Council with powers to regulate and discipline judicial officers in the country.
Order.
The House is conscious of the powers of the SSS as enumerated in Sections 2, subsection 3 and Section 6 of the National Security Agencies Act 1986, which does not include the investigation and prosecution of corruption and abuse of office. The House is alarmed that the affected judicial officers had never been invited for questioning by the SSS before the sudden invasion and arrest was carried out. The House recalls past incidences of similar invasion and arrest by the SSS, including the Akwa Ibom State Government House, Ekiti, and Zamfara State Houses of Assembly for matters unrelated to its lawfully prescribed duties.
Chairman, local content, order.
The House is disturbed that this trend, if unchecked, is capable of truncating the nation's democracy or could result in the introduction of self-help by concerned citizens, which could lead to anarchy. The House is desirous of protecting the principle of rule of law and the nation's democracy. In the circumstance, the House is called upon to resolve to constitute an ad hoc committee to investigate all cases of invasion of property and the arrest of persons for reason outside the general duties of the DSS as prescribed by the National Security Act since May 29, 2015, and report back to the House within 6 weeks. I so move.
I write to second the motion.
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Again, remind us of the single prayer. That is to investigate these actions and confirm that they are in line with the clear provisions of our laws and report back to this House and indeed to Nigerians. My dear colleagues, let me also start from the negative. I'm aware that several persons have argued that the DSS has powers to conduct search, has powers to carry out arrest, and in fact, some have relied on relevant laws, saying that they are empowered, particularly when you have a search warrant. But all those arguments, as beautiful as they will appear, they are all hinged on one thing. The first question is, what is the statutory function of this organization? It is only when you have answered that question that you can talk about procedure. All the other issues of search warrant, you have the right to arrest and all that, those are procedures. The core of this matter should be whether the DSS, as empowered by the law, can actually go into issues that has to do with corruption. Once that is answered, the procedure is secondary. And if I read the extant law to us, particularly section 2, subsection 3, it provides that the DSS shall be charged with responsibility for A, the prevention and detection within Nigeria of any crime against the internal security of Nigeria. Emphasis, internal security of Nigeria. B, the protection and preservation of all non-military classified matters concerning the internal security of Nigeria. Again, internal security of Nigeria. And C, such other responsibilities affecting internal security within Nigeria, as the National Assembly or the President, as the case may be, may deem necessary. My dear colleagues, the law is so clear. The emphasis of their responsibility is on issues affecting the internal security of Nigeria. Now, if you steal, it is an offense, no doubt. There is no sane person that will defend a thief. There is nobody on the floor of this House that will tell Nigerians that we are defending corruption. Nobody. But the question is, should these things not be done in line with the laws of the land? Can we talk about democracy and civil rule without the rule of law? And when persons in authority at our own level, at the level of the DSS, begins to go against the law, particularly the statute that set you up, then something is wrong. It calls for concern. And that is why we are discussing this issue this morning. And again, the single prayer is to invite them, for them to explain. Perhaps there are other laws that we do not have preview of, that would have empowered them to carry out these functions. It is necessary for them to tell Nigerians, so that this matter that is trending will be laid to rest. And that is the essence of this motion. Let us not sit here and allow these issues to continue to trend and we do nothing. Therefore, I will urge you, my dear colleagues, to allow the DSS to make a defense for themselves. Let them speak for themselves. Let them tell us where they derive their powers from without running into conclusions. I do not want to go into other issues that are secondary to all this. And I pray that you support this motion so that Nigerians will be properly informed concerning these issues. Thank you.
Now the question, but no, don't say no. This motion is simple, is calling for investigation. Now, there are two issues involved. Number one, as members, all of us are under the oath to maintain absolute fidelity to our laws. Now, when there's an allegation that the law of the land has been breached, I think we're the one, as custodians, as makers of this law, to determine whether there's a provision of any law that has been breached. So I don't want members to prejudge or make statements that would defeat the intents of the investigation that we're going to conduct. If you allow me, I'll plead with us to hold on until this investigation is done in line with the prayers of the motion. Then we're better informed as to whether rules have been broken, laws have been broken, and then we can say, or we can now make contributions, very enlightening contributions to the debate. But in any case, it's your house. If you want to debate it, it's just an appeal. Yes. So I will go ahead and put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.